So today we're going to talk about Virginia DMV and how Software AG is helping DMV modernize their systems at this time and to move forward into the future. So right now at DMV, the environment looks like this. The mainframe is the main driver of all the major applications that DMV uses right now. So there are a ton of custom applications that DMV utilizes at this moment to run their main systems. CSS is one of them that does the taxation, license renewals, weigh stations, and all the different service centers that are around the state all plug in through the CSS system, customer service system. So also within DMV, as you can imagine, there's a lot of databases. They even have a data warehouse. They have some COTS packages. They've even deployed a bit of big data with Hadoop and some other data warehouses. But it's a large system. DMV is the largest system within the state, and they've even thought about doing some cloud, taking some of the applications off the mainframe and moving those into the cloud. So all of your business logic is tied up within these custom applications. So you have your integration, your data, your decisions, and your tasks. And then obviously within the different applications, there's security that has to be built in. Web services, data at rest. Some micro services are starting to come about. Standards. I mean, DMV plugs into the NADA system, so there's standards with the dealers and so on and so forth. And then outside of DMV, the agency, they work with a lot of different agencies within the state of Virginia to provide information and verification to the various agencies and to the public. So then obviously you have your citizens who engage with DMV in a couple of different ways, through the web to renew licenses, through the customer service centers that are all over the state. They're also working on a mobile initiative, better connectivity with the citizens, and a bit of IoT, but that's coming down the road in the future. But currently, all of the DMV systems are connected point to point. So there is no one centralized ESP that connects all of these systems together. It's all spaghetti. And one of the comments that the deputy CIO made to me when she looked at our map was that it looks like the New York subway system, which looks like our system. So you know they've got stuff all over the place and connectivity issues. So to be able to rapidly develop applications, that's not something that they can do right now. It's still a task in order to get that going. And then you obviously you have your agencies pinging into the mainframe and the different applications. So you can see there's a big bowl or pot of spaghetti that looks like the DMV system right now. So what we're proposing is to not scrap this and get rid of it, but to take that and maintain it and reuse it. So keep all your databases and your mainframe functioning as is, your custom applications, your COTS packages, and run those all into the integration layer, into the ESP. This way you can reuse as opposed to duplicate, which is what they've been doing over the years. So if we introduce the ESP to them, we give them an integration layer. That allows them to make changes throughout the system without having to go into each application and make changes to each application. So we make them in the integration layer, it'll feed down to the system and make the changes for them. This will save them time. Then we have the data layer. All of the data that's collected by DMV, and there's a lot of it. I mean, they deal with just almost every citizen in the state. And then we build a decision layer. And then finally, the tasks. So you have your integration layer, you have your data, where your events are happening, establish your rules, and here you have your process. So when things happen here in the events layer, they'll get into a situation where it says, this is your what if. Okay, if this happens and this happens at the same time, what if? Same here. All kinds of event data is driven into the system. Okay, now what do you do with it? So that's when you plug it in to your process. And the process will determine what tasks need to be taken. Say somebody gets pulled over by state police and they may be a deadbeat dad and they haven't paid their child support in, say, 5 or 6 years. So that will trigger an event to where they'll say, okay, you know, revoke his license until he pays the fine, and once he does that, then we'll reinstate his license. So what we propose too is you wrap this in an API layer where you have your standards, security, data at rest, microservices, all built in, so that when your outside agencies and your citizens engage, and then your outside, like insurance companies and say the NADA, you can create applications faster and, you know, push data back and forth a lot easier through the system. And, you know, we've proposed you can do this in the cloud, or you can do this on-prem, or you can do a hybrid. It's up to you. So in the old system here, let's say you're spending 79% of the time maintaining, and you're being asked to innovate all the time, and you may have 21% of the time to do that, but then you're also being asked to keep costs down. Whereas over here, we're going to give you the ability to only spend 50% of your time on maintaining. You're going to have 50% of the time we can keep costs even throughout that. And you'll be able to bring services in to the citizens a lot faster, and also to keep your systems running more efficient. So that's our goal with DMV, is to get them to, see how the digital government layer will help them achieve their goals of modernization over the next 5 to 10 years.